your boy Big Rob back in my house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, this is my at-home show we do on Sundays called Rant and Ramble. And here we don't talk much crypto, but we get a lot of Q&A, get a little insight with Big Rob into the Sin City team. Feel free to ask questions. It's a little bit more personable with our community here. As for that, we do this every Sunday. Sunday's my favorite day. Reflection and planning for the week. And man, what a week it was, man. What a week it was. And today's episode is going to be straight fire. I know that I say that every time, but well, it's fire every time, right? That's probably why you're here watching again. Big shout out to those of you that were here before we launched. I want to see if we can get this thing over 200 viewers. I don't think I've ever gotten this thing over 200 viewers. Maybe I have once, but if I did, it was in the early days. So let's see if we can get a good turnout. We get good turnouts with lots of conversation, lots of chatting going on. YouTube looks at the chat and the ratio here. How often are people talking? How active is the community? And then that is one of the factors that go into promoting the video. So I'm going to get an Ola train going. I'm dropping the first Ola. Let's get the Olas going up in here. Let's go. All right. And then what else? Yeah, so we're gonna talk some personal self motivation, I guess you can call it, a little bit of self-development, inward thinking, because strong mind, strong portfolio, right? And then what else? Let's see who we got in here that is new, or if you're new here, say hello. Love to give you a shout out as well. All right, so some of our new people we got here. We got, or you know what, just a roll call. How about this? Mr. Young Fargo, Patricio, Pong, Servando, Sandy, Michael Miller, Fino, Call Me Topher, Patricio, Supreme 100s, Alexandra, Fino, Meanless, Kevin B, Danny Boy, V-Lad, Beachhead, Harp, Rudy, Palukin, Free, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, we got Manny, Knoxville. I am Jay in here at the last second. Bruce Brady as well, or Bradley. Hola. Man, I'm amped up today, man. Dude, I think I may have had the most productive week of my entire life this week. I always reflect on my accomplishments every Sunday. I like to evaluate my week and plan my following week, right? So Sunday's the end of the week. We start our show on Monday. And so Sunday I sit down, I evaluate what did I do? And man, you know, I had my kids in town. My son's still in town. Also, did some fixed some networking issues. We had the XRP case, so it's kind of diving into that. I got someone staying here at the house. I've been redoing the house. It's just been action-packed nonstop. And also today will be probably it has a chance to be the hottest day in the history of Las Vegas. We are scheduled to be around 118 degrees Fahrenheit. And so it's going to be a hot one. I still got some things to tackle in my backyard. So I'm going to try to do that immediately after the show. Do it quick and get back in because I ain't trying to fall out in the backyard. Also, we got Jason, Mac, Danny Boy, Spicy Poppy, James McLaughlin up in here as well, and Cal Thigh as well. So, hola to you. So let's take a quick look before we get too off topic. Let's get into the the markets here. So we like to play a lot of music, a lot of sound effects, music going on the show here. So Bitcoin coming in at 30,400, right at the same area it's been at. It did have a little bit of a rally with the news of the XRP Ripple lawsuit, which you can see here where we got up to 31.5 and back down to 30K. A little underwhelming for what a lot of people were thinking that the XRP court case was going to be. Now, one thing to keep in mind when it comes to the court case is that it was not an outright win. It was more of a clarification of what the XRP token was, right? And so the SEC did come out with a press release, and they discussed it was positive. I think it was more of a PR move. Was definitely a punch in the mouth for the SEC. But you have the situation is that XRP, the token, was not deemed a security. And so the judge did not come out and say that it was a commodity, but he said it was not a security. However, it is more or less how it's sold. And so the underlying asset is a digital asset, and short of a commodity as far as the legal term, but it's not a security, and it's not a share of a company. Now, with that said, you can still be deemed a sale of a security in how you sell it, right? So if you sell it as an investment contract, then it is that a sale of a security. Now, the underlying asset isn't a security, but if I were to start a company and I said, hey, I'm going to give anybody that invests in my company a gold coin with a stamp on it. Now, you could say these gold coins are unique, but they represent a portion value of the company. And if someone bought it, they would expect a return in profit from the growth of the company. Now, hypothetically, you could turn around and sell the gold if there's a market for it. But just to give you a loose example, you can represent shares of a company in a asset that isn't traditionally a stock, and you could sell that as a security. What does all this mean? It means it depends on how you sell the damn thing. That's pretty much all it is. And so if you sell it to the retail, if you sell it to the exchanges and you go out and you sell it that way, then people can buy it, and it is what it is. It's an asset. Now, some people can speculate on the price. Some people can use it for its utility. Some people can use it for staking, buying NFTs, whatever you want to do. And so the asset itself is not a security. And that's what we got. Now, at the same time, if a company comes in and says, hey, we want to invest in your company, we'll buy 1 million tokens. But you don't have any intention on using it. You just want to give the company money and just want a return on investment. You're just going to hold it, which is where we came at with this institutions, basically venture capital that was buying XRP. Those sales, institutional sales, were deemed security because the institutions themselves weren't planning on using the tokens, right? They weren't planning. Now they could say they were, but the judge here in this particular case was saying that, well, you gave Ripple Labs money because you believed in that company and you wanted a return on your investment. So you gave them millions of dollars and they gave you some tokens. You weren't planning on using the tokens. So that was an investment contract. And so that's where it was. So anyways, it wasn't an outright win. It wasn't the SEC stupid. They have no idea what they're talking about. They basically said, hey, well, SEC, calm down. Stop claiming that all tokens are securities. They're not. It's just more or less how you sell them. And that is an ultimate win for crypto. It is. I don't think a lot of people forecasted that was going to happen, but either way. Also, as I mentioned, this is a show with a little bit more Q&A, so please feel free to add to the conversation. Feel free to ask questions as well. And me one here. Let me see if I can get this chat thing going. There we go. He says, Olaf from the 702. If you don't know, 702 is the area code, the telephone area code for Las Vegas. XRP popping off. Speaking of XRP, I know that's how we get let in. XRP is up. It was on the 70 cents. It was testing the 70 cent support range, and it's gotten some movement today. And so we went all the way up to 75, dipped down to, I guess it was this. Let's take a look at the 17. So we got all the way up to, what was the height here? 87. So it dipped down to 69 cents, kind of rode this 70-cent support. And then nice little rally today, up 10% on the 24 hours, still up a good 50% on the week, or over 50%, 67% on the week. So nice big push out of Ripple. And now that the brakes have been taken off now that we've taken the brakes off, any big news is all positive, right? Before, XRP or Ripple Labs was making partnerships globally, and there wasn't a lot of big price movement from these partnerships, right? There was all these different banks globally that were using Ripple Labs or XRP or RippleNet, and these headlines weren't affecting the price dramatically, not in the same way that it would have had it not had the court case. So now I think with each incoming partnership, very likened to what we've seen with like Polygon. Every time Polygon nails another big partnership, you see the price rally 10%, 20%. It might retrace, but it usually doesn't fall back to its original baseline. So it's just stepping up by building. And I think XRP is going to be similar. I think $1 is going to be a tough area of resistance. Psychological number, it's been there before, but just looking at its market cap size, and if it were to double, it would go over to Tether to put it at $1.50. But that's a lot of room to move. You would need another $40 billion of liquidity. Just keep in mind, it is a top 5 coin, so to make it move is extremely difficult. Now, you can look at all of the bullish narrative you can make about Ethereum, right? How much use cases Ethereum have, how many people are building on there. Think about how difficult it would be for Ethereum to go from $2,000 to $4,000, right? It would have to be something massively dramatic for that to double, right? And even when we went in from proof of work to proof of stake, we went from about $1,300 for the Ethereum. At the height was about $1,800. So it wasn't even a 2x on that big event. Just put into perspective how much capital it takes for these tokens to move. And right now, the retail that is outside of crypto is just not piling in. And so that's what we're hanging our hat on when it comes to this ETF news, is that with the Bitcoin ETF, you're going to get a new source of or new stream of money coming into crypto, basically a surge of liquidity where traditional markets and companies, publicly traded companies, American-based companies, can get exposure to crypto, particularly Bitcoin, and not have the worry of losing private keys or getting it chased after by the the SEC. All right, so real quick, let's just get some music going here. And I want to know, guys, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to hear, what did you guys do this week? I know it's Sunday. I always like to reflect towards the end of the show. I'll ask what your plans are for the week, but I want to know. Sunday's a big day for me, as y'all already know. I've already said like 10 times. So what did you guys do? If it was one thing, did you hang out with somebody? Did you call somebody you haven't talked to in a while? Did you link up with a family member? Did you get a new job? Did you start a new project? I want to know, what did you guys do this week? And then also a little shout out to the chat. We got GT up in here, Indie Rock, Robert Triana, Nabil Khan as well, Coin Operated, Eddie EDI, spelled that way, Alex Green, BG, and Crypto Soul 0824. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And Indie Rock Crypto says, I'm going to local fest this week, Gerber Baby Food Fest. Interesting. I didn't even know there was a festival for baby food, but okay. I feels it. I'll start that diet young. Also, I am a lifetime chef. That's what I did before I got into the YouTube. And so I worked for some high profile chefs, some big name individuals. So if you have any questions on food as well, that is another area of my expertise. Recipes, things like that. And Call Me Topher said he had 3 days off work. Now he's working Sundays. So, all right. Now, I do want to get into, there's a project I've talked to about a lot here. One of the ones that I had a lot of conviction for. And, you know, sometimes a project has everything, checks all the boxes, right? And so we always say, want you to do your own research, you know, don't take on too much risk, find projects that have the room to run or potential for growth, but are small enough to, you know, get a good return on money. You know, because the way I look at it, it's like I like to invest in tier groups. And so tier A would be Bitcoin, and then B would be, you know, Ethereum and some other top 5 projects. Anyways, as you go down, you take on more risk. You use less capital, right? Because you're gonna have more potential for loss. Now, one of the projects that was outside of the top 50 had a lot of potential that I've talked about a lot was Phantom. And, you know, Phantom has been in the spotlight lately, but, you know, it had a development team that was top notch. It had Andre Cronje, which is one of the most influential figures in the DeFi space. When it comes to finance, he is one of the founders of Compound. And so, and he has had his hands in many DeFi projects, but we're just going to kind of go over this little article here. We have Phantom. So Phantom Network faces setback as multi-chain debacle resorts in massive losses and exploits. Now, let me make this a little bit larger here so you guys can see it. Hold on a second, guys. I'm trying to. There we go. Okay, now you guys can see. Okay, so I'm a big fan of Phantom, and you know, on one hand, nothing really happened to Phantom, right? But a lot of their total value locked, a lot of their TVL, a lot of their money, they kept in multi-chain, or they used multi-chain's contract system, and a lot of that got drained. A lot of that has now disappeared. And so I'll just kind of read this and then kind of get our reflection on it. And this just goes to show you that, you know, real quick, it goes to show you that you can be very bullish on a certain project. You can have faith in it. They can have the best intentions. It could have, you know, nothing visible on the outside that there's some distress or something wrong with it. But at the same time, you could have very, very deep underlying issues. That's why you shouldn't go all in on any one project, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what company they're working with. You don't know what a CEO or a high level dev or someone that's very influential might be saying in front of a camera and in front of the press, and then they might be doing something different. Now, the founding team of Phantom seems to have been free of any misappropriation. Without their one problem is that they trusted multi-chain too much, and you know that's really where their downfall was. So let me get some context to this. So Phantom's network co-founder Andre Cronje expressed his concern over multi-chain's recent troubles, stating that it dealt a significant blow to the smart contract platform. In recent weeks, Phantom has witnessed a sharp decline in activity. Data from DeFi Llama revealed that Phantom's total value lock plummeted from 364 million in May to approximately 70 million in July. That is not like 2 months, guys. So in 2 months, it lost from 360 to 70 million. This is far off of its bull market high of 7.5 billion. Additionally, the price of Phantom's token has dropped as well from 41 to 28 cents in the same period. Andre Cronje has conveyed his disappointment in a thread on Phantom's forum, stating that multi-chain's failure had a profound impact. He received numerous assurances from multi-chain's team leader regarding the server decentralization, access, and geolocation distribution. This is what we always talk about, is how decentralized is a project. If you're keeping everything on one server, one mainframe, or one node, or if all the nodes are reliant of one centralized point or one centralized point of failure, it doesn't matter. And here, one example is, doesn't matter if you have nodes set up globally. If the private keys for the whole network or the main wallet is in one server, then it doesn't matter if validation is occurring across thousands of nodes. It doesn't matter if you lose the keys or whatever it is. Well, we'll get into that here in a second. But now, reflecting on the situation, Cronje emphasized the need to don't trust and verify even within its own projects. Now, Multichain has announced on July 14th, revealing that it would be ceasing operations due to the arrest of its CEO in May. Now, as the sole controller of Multichain servers, listen to this, the CEO was the sole controller of Multichain servers. And now, compounding the challenges faced by Multichain, the platform also fell victim to an exploit in July 6th. The exploit resulted in a withdrawal of over $125 million worth of cryptocurrencies from multiple wallets, impacting the Ethereum side of Phantom, Moonriver, and Dogechain bridges. Remember, Phantom's main bread and butter was its compatibility with Ethereum, and Moonriver is one of the biggest platforms there as well. Now, $125 million worth of crypto gone, right? Remember, we went from 360 down to 70. A lot of it was just straight up theft because of just not, of an exploit, right? Now, these withdrawals accounted for a significant portion of the funds held on each bridge. So basically, the bridges are not even operational anymore. It was discovered that Multichain had stored all shards of its private keys in a cloud server account, solely controlled by the CEO. Guys, this is crazy. Like, how is this still a thing? And shame on you, Phantom, for not looking into how are the private keys stored, right? Now, the cloud server account was subsequent. I can't even pronounce that. All right. It was utilized by an unauthorized individual to drain the funds, probably somebody that was connected to the CEO. Repercussions of Multichain's issues also extended into the leading protocol Geist Finance, and that was forced to permanently shut down as well. And the Geist had over $29 million worth of crypto assets locked up. That also impacted the TVL of Phantom. You also have an exploit in stablecoin issuers, a Circle and Tether, which they have over $65 million worth of assets frozen. Ooh. That's crazy, right? Basically, doesn't matter how good of a project you have. It doesn't matter how good of a team it is, how good of an idea it is, a vision. If you put all your money and all of your total value locked and every piece of net worth in another company's hands, then you are just an extension of that company, or you're an extension of their risk, right? If Ethereum took every single smart contract and tied it to another project, they're exposing themselves to all the risks that project has. And what Phantom did was expose themselves to the risks of another platform. So multi-chain, they gave them all their money, man. That's literally what they did. And then multi-chain was corrupt. The CEO was corrupt. How they stored money was inadequately secured. The keys were controlled by the CEO, who went to fucking jail. Crazy, man. And I feel for everybody that lost money in that situation, right? Sucks. Jeez, man. Jeez, dude. Crazy. Let's get some music going on here. Also, go through the chat. I see we got a few new people in here. We got Rico and David FP. Also, we see Indy, Rock Crypto, Enzo Mining. A couple other people in here as well. Matt C. So to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, let's get the likes going. Got about a 50% like ratio. Not really sure what's going on. We also got David popping in here. David is David A in the chat there, so our co-host. If you're tuning into our show today for the first time, know that we do a live show Monday through Friday. That's our staple. This is kind of a one-off show we do on Sundays. And here we just talk a little crypto news, and then we kind of just get a little insight on personal growth, things like that. So, all right. And then before I move on, I just want to see, does anybody have any questions or anything that you guys want to talk about? And otherwise, I'm going to keep moving. So, there you go. Alexandra says, good morning. It's also Barry Sanders' birthday today. Look at that. What do you know? And Andy Rob says, you're absolutely right, Rob. Yeah. It just sucks, man. You know, I really liked Phantom. And I don't think Phantom did anything wrong. They just put all their trust into another company. They didn't diversify their risk. It goes to show you, man, and time is a measure of security, right? The longer you're around, the more secure you are. Why? Because people can try to steal money from you. Because there's a lot of doors on the internet for these projects. And so as you move forward in time, as the projects are new, and Phantom is pretty new. It was less than 3 years old. And it just hasn't had a test of time. And the vulnerabilities haven't been tested. You give people a long enough time, you give them a computer and you say, hey, this project's on the internet, see if you can steal some money. Give somebody 2-3 years to attack it. After 5 years, if millions of people had the opportunity to attack an online protocol and they can't get any money out, you know it's a lot more secure than the one that's been out for a year. Just because of time. Same thing with Bitcoin. Ain't nobody stole no money from Bitcoin. It's been around for 14 years now. And so I feel pretty comfortable that if somebody hasn't figured out how to steal money from that thing yet, they probably will never get any money out of it. Ethereum is another example of that. So, but now Ethereum isn't free of exploits. It had one before, which is where you got the Ethereum Classic. So, but now it's gotten pretty far away from that time period. So anyways, we also got 4 or 5 dropping to Ola. And we got a request from Rudy G. He says, can you, he's getting into cooking. Can I do some cooking videos? Well, let me tell you, man, I would love to do some cooking videos, but man, those things are hats off to the people that do cooking videos. Okay. So first of all, let me tell you, to get into the cooking videos and those YouTubers, first of all, the area is extremely saturated, right? Because anybody can kind of cook at home, and anybody can has things that they're good at cooking, right? Like they got their signature lasagna or whatever it is, and so you have a lot of people that want that feel like they have an expertise in something. So basically, you have a saturation of the market, right? There's a lot of people that can make videos on cooking. A lot of people think they're experts in cooking. And so there's a lot of saturation. So it's hard to break out. And then to properly do a video on cooking, you got to have a lot of setup and planning. And so you need cameras, camera angles, tripods, multiple angles. The production and planning of that is extremely difficult. And then you got the video editing side as well. So pretty hard to put together. And then it's hard to break out because of competition. I feel like I could be successful at it, but I would just have to put a lot of time into it, and that time would take away from what I'm doing now. And so I would I would be a lot happier simply I'd be a lot happier simply just giving you guys some insight here on the Sunday show. How about that? Also, we got Y saying he's going to be in Vegas next week. We'll be glad to have you out here, man. And if you have time, come by and check us out at the studio, or maybe come hang out with us at our... oh, shoot. You know what? Let me get the link. Also, we have our giveaway coming out tomorrow. So today and tomorrow morning will be the last chance that you have to get to sign up for the contest. So we have, if you're going to be in Vegas, it's open bar. We have a meetup at the foundation room of Mandalay Bay, and it's going to be me and George, or the Sin City team and George. So you can come out there, meet all of us, have some free drinks. They got food as well. It's going to be pretty badass. And I'm adding this. Oh, here, you know what? I'll just add it to the paste. Boom. All right, so let me pin this to the top as well. There we go. All right. So I pinned it to the top. You have the Vegas meetup. And so if you're not subscribed or following us on Twitter, all you gotta do is click that. Even if you are, just follow the links anyways, and then it'll put you in there. And then like that, you can win 2 tickets to come hang out with us at the Mandalay Bay, the foundation room. It's a top floor bar. It's pretty badass, gorgeous view. And yeah, we'll be drawing that tomorrow. And so just do us a favor, if you're don't fill it out unless you plan on being in Vegas, or you can make the trip. Save the tickets for someone that can come out to Vegas. All right. So moving on, we also have. I wish I brought some water with me, man. I got no water up here. All right. So let's get into it. So today, the second half of the show, we're going to talk about self-improvement and why is this, why do I do this every Sunday? And if you're new here, just kind of hear me out here, okay? What we like to talk about, motivating yourself, or reflecting on what you're doing, your portfolio, your money management, how savvy you are with your finances. All that's tied together. And I always like to use a loose analogy that if you're just a disaster with your bank account, you just misappropriate funds, you don't spend your money wisely, you're just blowing money on stupid stuff, you're spending money out every night at the bar, it's almost guaranteed or certain, if you're that irresponsible with your finances, you're not all of a sudden going to be a savvy and like top-notch crypto investor. You're probably going to take on risk. If anything, you're squandering the opportunity to have more capital to invest into crypto because you're blowing it on stupid crap, or you're just working at a suboptimal or subprime job or career where you're making crap salary. And well, you could, if you had more money coming in, if you're making more money, you would have more capital on the side, more dry powder or whatever it is to invest in crypto, more money to DCA, and in turn to be in a better spot. I can tell you myself personally, I want to make more money. I DCA twice a month, and it's not enough for me, right? I'd want to put more money into my DCAs. I want to triple my DCA buys. I'd like to have more capital on the side. I would, and I can tell you right now that I spend money on things I shouldn't be spending money on. Now I have had a big change in self-control and spending habits, and so I've buckled down, and I'm far from perfect, and I know there's a lot of room for improvement. And so I encourage you guys to take a look at your finances, take a look at your employment, and say, hey, where can I generate more money? Where can I get more capital? Because for me personally, I want to invest more in crypto. And so I need to find some more money. And so you can either spend less or earn more. That's really the only two ways of getting more money. And both of those you should evaluate both of those. And so, on my Sunday show, I like to evaluate my week. So when the hell did I spend, did I spend $500 on something stupid? Did I spend $1,000 on something that I didn't need to? And maybe it would have been better spent on some DCAing. So now with that said, just to kind of, let me get some music going on in here too. So just to get some perspective here, if a lot of making more money comes from risk management, right? And if you don't take on any risk, you're essentially never gonna get to the next level, right? You can always just incrementally get more, right? You can always make a little bit more money, but more than likely you're probably gonna fall short of your ultimate goals, right? And so why do I say take on risk, right? Because we always say risk manage in crypto, but you should take on risk in your personal life, right? You should don't want to live a boring life, and complacency will essentially kill you, right? Now, let me give you a couple analogies. Pretty good at putting this together, right? For people that grow up in their hometown, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but people that grow up in their hometown, they don't take any risk. They don't decide to move to the big city. They don't decide to go to college outside of their hometown, and they just simply stay put. They're comfortable, right? They say, hey man, you know what? I grew up here. My family's here. My friends are here. My high school buddies are here. I can work in my dad's shop or whatever it is. I can take over the business. If you never take on any risk, you're gonna just live a mundane life, and you're never gonna do anything great. And for me, I always look at what are the most influential people that I can personally recognize. And a lot of them may be a celebrity or billionaire, perhaps a motivational speaker, or someone that's pretty accomplished in the world of science. And all of these people have one thing in common, is that, well, they left their hometown, and most of these people did come from small upbringings. And so at some point, these people had to have thought to themselves, like, man, I gotta take some risk and I gotta leave, right? You can look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a good example. I forget what country he's from. Help me in the chat if you know where Schwarzenegger's from. But he came from a pretty small European country, and he took a lot of risk leaving. But he knew that he would never get to his ultimate goals, being where he's at. And a lot of these scholars and big names that we might be familiar with, they've done the same thing. They left their hometown and their cottage. They took on risk. And so you have to take a leap of faith. Now, the same thing, Austria, that's where he's from. Birdtown Music said he's from Austria. So the same thing can be said when it goes to your job, your career path, what you do day to day. All of that is a risk as well. And so that same feeling of I'm comfortable, I have all my friends here, my family, I went to college for this. At the end of the day, if that isn't gonna make you great, if it doesn't bring the best out of you, if you don't excel at it because it's your passion, if you're not excited about doing it, if you're not truly passionate and fulfilled at what you're doing, And it's time to take some risk. And that's no different than living in a small town. It might seem scary at first, but you know damn well if you hang out with the same people there, you're gonna have the same results. And it's no different being in the industry that is mundane, that you dread going to work. It's the same thing. It's the same ideology. You got to take on risk, and sure, it might be scary. I mean, sure, you might go from 80,000 a year to drop down to 40,000 or whatever it is. But you got to take a leap of faith. Or what's the alternative? The alternative is that you work every day at a job you hate, and you look forward to the weekends, and all you want is that week off or the 2-week vacation. You're hoping for the bonus. You complain to your coworkers all day long. Like what? And the one thing you got to look forward to, your lifelong goal, is your pension, your retirement, right? So that way you can sit on your recliner and watch soap operas or game shows or reality TV shows and have a nice backyard, and then be out there on the weekends cutting grass and coming in drinking lemonade. That is the life goal of too many damn people, man. Work all your life and be miserable doing it, making subpar money just to mail it and sit on a damn couch for the last 10 years of your life, looking at your significant other just upset. Kids don't even live with you no more. And so if you want to do great things, you got to take risk, man. I keep using this word great, but I mean, think about it. It's like, evaluate yourself. And we go, first of all, what do others think of you? If you asked people that aren't your closest friends, you just ask some people like, hey, like, is this guy, like, do they look at you in awe? Are you great? Are you accomplishing like crazy things? As if people don't look at you like you're insane or you're crazy, and a way of devotion and passion and trade, and I look at people that are doing what they're passionate about. Look at somebody that's building furniture. They've had a career change. They went to college and they're just working with their hands because they love doing it, and it's art to them, and they're building something they're really passionate about, and like, you can see it in their face, man. And they're doing something great, right? They're doing something that fulfills them. They're paying, they're surviving, they're making good money, like, and they're truly like fulfilled. And so do others look at you in awe and respect? And do you look at yourself? Can you say like, hey, I'm like the best version of myself, I feel great? Because if you don't, if the answer is no, then it's time to make a change. I think I'm on the right path, but I don't find myself great. I got a lot to work on. That's why I have this show every Sunday. That's why I reflect on Sunday. I'm like, what do I need to improve on? What did I do well? Like, what can I work on? And at the end of the day, it's, these changes to rewire your brain. It takes a long time. You have this upbringing, this expectation. Society wants you to work this way or do this, not take on too much risk. And at the end of the day, it's like, you gotta just say F everybody, right? You gotta do what makes you happy. My mom and dad, they want me to be a chef. Had somebody come by yesterday, help me with my backyard. My dad, he was like, yeah, your dad says you're a chef. I'm just like, why is he still saying that? Like, yeah, I am a chef. I know how to cook still. Like, I don't do that as a profession anymore. I haven't done that in years. I haven't been in a kitchen professionally for 5 years. And so somebody that my dad had a conversation with, he's like, he's a chef. I'm like, no, I'm not a chef. I'm a goddamn YouTuber, man. This is what I fucking do. And I make money doing this. But it's not what they want. It's too outside of the box. They don't fucking understand. But I'll tell you what, man, it's a badass job. I fucking love being a chef, but I was miserable. I didn't make enough money. It sucked. I went to work. I complained all the time. I worked too many hours. I had no life. I was not happy doing it. But everybody else wanted me to do it. I went to college. I was still paying back student loans. I'm supposed to do it. Society says, do not leave doing that. But I was not happy. And now I'm fucking happy. I'm like doing what I like to do. And I'm making money doing it. And I'm surviving. And I get to talk to you people. Like, this is what makes me happy, is my passion. And I found it. But it's not okay for everybody else. But I have found out that over time, you have to unsubscribe to what makes people happy. You have to remove yourself from what everyone else wants you to do and what everyone expects you to do, and go out and take some damn risks. I lost money for 2 years doing this. There was no money in this damn sector for 2 years. Cameras are expensive, lights are expensive. I don't know what the hell I was doing. But I took a leap of faith. I took a risk because it's something that I truly enjoy. So I encourage all of you that if you are not fulfilled and happy with what you're doing, then take your talents, whatever you're good at, and try to figure out how to make some money doing it. And then you just gotta stick it out through the short-term side effects, right? If you have a career change, you take on risk, you're gonna question it the whole way there, man, on the short term. It's change, it takes time. Change, success, career change, and your path takes time. But change doesn't take time, right? Decisions don't take time. Your short-term decisions don't take time. What you do day in and day out those are decisions in the moment. If you skip a day at the gym, it doesn't destroy you. You don't shrink. You're not all of a sudden like completely out of shape. Also, going to the gym today doesn't all of a sudden make you 2 times as big and 5 times stronger. The short-term decisions don't pay off in the short term. They're also uncomfortable. They're inconvenient. But it's easy to go out and hang out with your friends, take the day off. That's convenient. It gives you pleasure in the short term, but it doesn't help your long-term goal. So that's the hardest thing to digest, is that you got to do this crap day in and day out, see no results, and be uncomfortable and miserable. I don't want to say miserable, but uncomfortable, inconvenient every day with every decision you make for the long-term goal, which will bring you happiness, or at least make you feel fulfilled, right? No, the convenience will destroy you. Being comfortable will destroy you. It's no different than it's no different than being lazy, right? What is lazy? Is just comfort times 1,000. Lazy is comfort squared. That's all it is. Comfort is just a shorter version of lazy. You don't need that nap. You need to build. That's what you need. Like, you don't need the days off. You don't need the weeks off. You don't need the weekends off. And I'm not saying that you don't work a job and then you clock out. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying after you clock out, like, start working on something. Start working on a goal. Start working on another project. You get a second job. I don't know. Do something. But if you're clocking out and you're going home and you're just drinking beer and watching TV and then like nodding your head as your wife just like complaining about something, that sounds horrible. That sounds absolutely awful. You have to do short-term decisions that are uncomfortable. Each one of those short-term decisions. I'm going to make my bed. I'm going to work on this project. I'm going to work on this myself with this. I'm going to educate myself with that. Like, these short-term decisions may not seem ideal for your comfort, but it will help you in the long term. Your life, your entire life is the sum of short-term decisions. You might look at somebody's life that's successful and you just be like, he's a good basketball player. He's a good musician. He is an amazing artist, whatever it is. But that person got there by a sum of their short-term decisions. That basketball player practiced every day for hours on end when everyone else gave up. Your life is a brick wall. And as insignificant as each brick may seem, each brick is a part of the foundation. And without each brick, you would not have the wall. The wall would crumble if you pull out the bottom brick. And so you might look at the brick and you say, this costs $1.50. And I can put it on the wall there, just like that. Boom, it's done. And as small as those little small decisions may seem, without it, you cannot have the structure. You cannot have a beautiful building. You just gotta stop being lazy. That's it. What do you need a break for? Ask yourself, if life is a race, why are you taking a break? If you're running a race, do you take a break? Let's just say you're running a marathon. Do you just stop? Do you just stop running? Like, you're trying to win this marathon. Like, you've been training for 6 months or whatever it is. The race starts. Boom, you go. All right. And you got however many miles and you're going. Do you just pull up a lawn chair and then just sit back in the middle of the race? If you're racing cars, do you just pull over and take a nap? No. Stop taking breaks. Stop taking days off. Stop saying you're going to do something on Monday or next month or whatever it is. Like, everyone else that is hyper successful is not taking breaks. So every time you take the day off, you take the break, or you bullshit, or you decide not to procrastinate, whatever it is, each one of those moments are you taking a break while somebody else is running the race at full speed. Life's a race. And whether you're racing, life's a race. The guy that's going for the same promotion that you're going for, that's a race. He's working. Are you working harder than him? The guy that's trying to hit on that same girl you're going for, that's a race. If you have a company, you're a competitor. Are they open on Sundays and you're closed? That's a race. That's it, man. Yep. Anyways. That's all I got. You guys got any y'all got anything to say there? I'm done with my rant there. At least my on that one. Meanless says Sundays are only Rob. Other hosts are sleeping. No, the top players are building. I think the top players are game planning. Maybe they're not. Not all of them. I'll give you that. Not all of them, but yeah. Yep. Get rich or die trying. more money makes life easier. I don't think money is the key to everything. Or here's a good example. The more money I make, the more money I put back into my business. And so for me, money isn't a necessity for me to live a happy life, but money is a necessity to build big things. And so for me, I'm not worried about how much money I make. I just want to make as much money so that way I can amplify my voice. So we got McCracken says he loves the speech. Chance says your dad wants a chef, Rob, not a rich YouTuber. That's right. I mean, he doesn't even like the funny thing is my dad, he wants me to be a chef, but he just eats like steak and mashed potatoes. That's it, bro. His diet is horrendous. Dad, if you're listening, eat some vegetables. Try something different. You know? Go to a fancy restaurant. My dad's all about Olive Garden too. He doesn't even eat anywhere nice. Every time it's my mom's birthday or some special event, they want to go to Red Lobster. And I'm like, I can't with this, man. Like, I can't go to Red Lobster, man. It's like, stop the insanity. All right, am I back? No, still buffering. I think it's back now. All right. All right. Anyways, this is about time for me to hop off anyways. But yeah, oh yeah. So I was answering we had what season of Hell's Kitchen was I on? I was not on any season of Hell's Kitchen, I will say. And it's a real contest, and so there's real money. There's money at stake. And so there's actually lawyers that sit down. And so any of the contestants can't be an employee or work or have any personal relationship with Gordon Ramsay. Otherwise, it would be unfair to the other contestants. And so in the Hell's Kitchen show, it has to be all 100% outside people. So that way there's no favoritism. And I've been a chef for Gordon Ramsay personally. So I was never able to compete on the show for that reason. So. All right, and then Mike Warren says, listening to you as he paints, setting goals is definitely a priority. Love you, bro. Dope. All right. Anyways, guys, and yeah, the cheddar biscuits are the only good thing at Red Lobster. I will say that they're the only good thing. Oh yeah, I got to get my outro music. And guess what? I'm gonna go hang some lights at 115-degree weather. Man, you know what? My kids are in town. It's Las Vegas. They wanted to go to... I do say I have a video where Gordon Ramsay was giving me a hard time. So for maybe for if you want to see XRP A11Y, I was asking about that. If you want, maybe I'll upload a video of Gordon Ramsay yelling at me. It's pretty funny. Anyways, damn it, what was I saying? Anyways, cheddar biscuits, they're pretty good. Red Lobster, they're all right. Not my favorite. It's too much frozen food, right? Even those cheddar biscuits are frozen, you know? And these chain restaurants, they get everything in bags, they're frozen, and the cooks there aren't cooking anything. They're just warming stuff up. And, you know, when you freeze stuff, it's never as good, right? When you make it in a factory and you put preservatives and take shortcuts. There's something about getting like fresh ingredients from like the farmer's market or whatever it is, whatever's local, and using that and cooking it like lemon and lime, citrus. Those flavors dissipate over just like a couple hours. So this needs to be squeezed fresh, right? Seafood, like don't freeze it. Stop freezing your meats, man. And oh yeah, Jay said your kids are in town. That's right. So last story here. 115 degrees outside. My kids are in town. They want to go to a damn water park. And I'm like, this whole thing is just a concrete. The whole thing is nothing but concrete. As far as you can see, just concrete. So not only is it 115 degrees over dirt, but it's like 125 degrees over concrete. And it's an awful experience, man. It's like a can of sardines with water, and the whole can's in the oven. Got sunburnt. Had a good time though. That's what the kids want to do. That's what daddy's gonna do with them. You know what I mean? But God bless, man. Holy crap, bro. And then Mike says clean fade as well. I don't. And yeah, my next door neighbor's my barber. You know that? He used to own his own shop. Now he closed that down. He does a lot of personal haircuts in his garage. So anytime his garage is open, I just wander over there and I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Can I get a cut?